Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottama Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayed Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 8. Chapter 8 is entitled, Lord Krishna shows the universal form to Mother Yashoda. Text number 11. Shri Shuka Uvacha Evam Samprarthito Vipraha Evam Samprarthito Vipraha Svachikirshitam Eva Tat Svachikirshitam Eva Tat Chakara Nama Karanam Chakara Nama Karanam Gudho Rahasi Balayo Gudho Rahasi Balayo. Shri Shuka Uvacha Evam Samprarthito Vipraha Svachikirshitameva Tat Chakaranama Karanam Gudho Rahasi Balayo. Shri Shuka Vacha Evam Samprarthito Vipraha Svachikirshitameva Tat Chakaranama Karanam Gudho Rahasi Balayo. Shri Shuka Vacha Evam Samprarthito Vipraha Svachikirshitameva Tat Chakaranama Karanam Gudho Rahasi Balayo. Shri Shuka Vacha Evam Samprarthito Vipraha Svachikirshitameva Tat Chakaranama Karanam Gudho Rahasi Balayo. Shri Shuka Vacha. Shri Shukadev Goswami said, Evam, in this way, Samprarthitaha, being eagerly requested, Vipraha, the Brahmana Garga Muni, Svachikirshitam Eva, which he already desired to do and for which he had gone there. That Chakara performed. Namakaranam, the name-giving ceremony, Gudhaha, confidentially, Rahasi, in a secluded place, Balayo, of the two boys, Krishna and Balaram. Actually, the name-giving ceremony is not over. Two boys of Nanda Maharaj. But Prabhupada is explaining these two boys are actually Krishna and Balaram, the original personality of Godhead. This is their original name in the spiritual world. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Shukadeva Goswami continued, having thus been especially requested by Nanda Maharaj to do that which he already desired to do, Garga Muni performed the name-giving ceremony for Krishna and Balaram in a solitary place. Please repeat this translation after me. Shukadeva Goswami continued, having thus been especially requested by Nanda Maharaj to do that which he already desired to do, Garga Muni performed the name-giving ceremony for Krishna and Balaram in a solitary place. Text number 12. There's no purport. I'll read the 12th text by myself. Shri Garga Vacha Ayam hi Rohini Putro Ramayan Suhrudo Gunaihi Akyasyate Rama iti Baladhikyad Balam Viduhu Yadunama Prithag Bhavat Sankarshanam Mushantyapi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. Garga Muni said, this child, the son of Rohini, will give all happiness to his relatives and friends by his transcendental qualities. Therefore, he'll be known as Rama. Ramayan Rama. Because he gives pleasure, he's called as Rama. And because he will manifest extraordinary bodily strength, he will also be known as Bala. Moreover, because he unites two families, Vasudeva's family and family of Nanda Maharaj, he'll be known as Sankarshana. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Baladev was actually the son of Devaki, but he was transferred from Devaki's womb to that of Rohini. This fact was not disclosed. According to a statement in the Hari Vamsha, that's another scripture, Hari Vamsha. Pratyuvacha tato Ramaha sarvam stanabhita sthitan yadaveshu api sarveshu bhavanto mama vallabha. Garga Muni did disclose to Nanda Maharaj that Balaram would be known as Sankarshana because of uniting two families. Which are the two families? The Yadu Vamsha and the Vamsha of Nanda Maharaj, one of which was known as Kshatriya and the other as Vaishya. Both families had the same original forefather, the only difference being that Nanda Maharaj was born of a Vaishya wife, whereas Vasudeva was born of a Kshatriya wife. Later, Nanda Maharaj married a Vaishya wife and Vasudeva married a Kshatriya wife. So, although the families of Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva both came from the same father, they were divided as Kshatriya and Vaishya. Now, Baladev united them, and therefore he was known as Sankarshana. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the 11th verse is spoken by Shukadev Goswami. The 12th verse is spoken by Garga Muni. So, sometimes devotees say, it's difficult to follow in the Bhagavatam who's speaking, what conversation is going on. So many different personalities. And Bhagavatam is a 18,000 verse Mahapurana. It's no small scripture. So the simple thing you have to remember always is that whatever portion you hear, that portion you focus on what's being said. It really is not important to remember who spoke this, who said this, who replied to whom. That's not as important in the beginning as actually getting the message. Vyasadeva has compiled the Bhagavatam under the instruction of Narada Muni because Vyasadeva, even after compiling all other literature other than the Bhagavatam, he was dissatisfied. That he felt he had not done enough work for the welfare of the people, especially the people of Kali Yuga. So his dissatisfaction was noticed by his guru, Narada Muni. And Narada Muni instructed him, you compile Srimad Bhagavatam. What is speciality about Bhagavatam as compared to all other literatures that Vyasadeva has compiled? The Bhagavatam is the only work of Vyasadeva which contains exclusive glorification of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's not that other literatures don't glorify Krishna. According to Madhvacharya, all the Vedic literatures simply glorify Krishna. That's all. Hari sarvatra giyate. These are the words of Madhvacharya, our Acharya. So, all scriptures are simply glorifying Krishna. But the other scriptures other than Bhagavatam contains something else also other than Krishna's glorification. Some scriptures describe the material world. Some scriptures describe the illusory energy that is working. Some scriptures describe the way to organize human society. so that there is peace, there is prosperity, people's desires are fulfilled in a proper manner, they don't incur sinful reactions. And then there are scriptures which describe the upper planetary systems and the structure of the universe, and so many different historical narrations are there. There are narrations about the incarnations of the Supreme Lord. There are narrations about the incarnations of the Devatas. Even Devatas incarnate. It's not just the Supreme Lord Krishna alone. Even pure devotees incarnate. Sages incarnate. So incarnation is a very big subject. Okay, it's not a small subject. So amidst all these different scriptures describing the glorification of Krishna, along with so many other topics, it sometimes seems like the glorification of Krishna is not so much prominent in the others' literature. That was the dissatisfaction of Vyasadeva. That Narad Muni pointed out that even though you have glorified Krishna in all the other literature, you have not sufficiently glorified Krishna in any of the literature. So you should compile one book which contains only glorification of Krishna and nothing else. So Bhagavatam is very, 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 very special literature in that way. There is no other literature which exclusively glorifies Krishna among the compositions of Vyasadeva. So, coming back to my original point, I started this class, that don't have to feel that you are confused about who's speaking, which verse, who has spoken, who is replying, what conversation. No. You have to take note of Krishna's glorification, because that is there everywhere, throughout the Bhagavatam. Which also raises a question as to how every verse can be glorification of Krishna. Just take the verse. Naimishe animisha kshetre rishaya shaunakadayaha satram swargaya lokaya sahasra samamasata. Once some sages gathered in a place called Naimisharanya, and they began a 1,000-year sacrifice. So what has this got to do with Krishna's glorification? So to understand how everything in this creation is actually connected with Krishna, this is another secret revealed in the Bhagavatam. Everything is connected with Krishna. How? Everything is Krishna, in the sense that every personality, both in the spiritual world and the material worlds, is either the personality of Krishna or the personality of Krishna's Amsha, part and parcel. And everything in existence is either Krishna or his energies. That's all. So this connection is very important clue for trying to understand how everything is connected with Krishna. Krishna explains this in the Bhagavad Gita. In the 7th chapter, he says, at least about the material world, first he speaks. He says everything in the material world is actually two energies, my material energy and my spiritual energy. The spiritual energy is a living entity. And I am the source of both. I am the origin of both. So both the material energy and the living entities, who are actually spiritual by nature, both belong to Krishna. Both are Krishna's own energies. So therefore, nothing is separate from Krishna. Nothing is separate from Krishna. Everything is connected with Krishna. Therefore, to connect everything with Krishna is the real understanding of especially this Bhagavatam. And of course, all the Vedic literature. That's why when Acharyas write commentary, they establish this, how everything is connected with Krishna. Everyone is connected to Krishna. Just like take the verse, Yajnarthat karmanaha anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sanga samachara. Now only an Acharya can give the accurate meaning of this verse. Work should be done as sacrifice to Vishnu. Yajnarthat. Literally the verse says work should be done as sacrifice. Yajnarthat karmanaha. But Prabhupada's translation is work has to be done as sacrifice to Vishnu. Where is Vishnu in the entire verse? There is no Vishnu. So, these are the reasons why you should hear the explanations or the descriptions of all the scriptures only from a pure devotee of Krishna and nobody else. Same thing applies for translation. Who can translate the scriptures? Only a pure devotee can do it accurately. Nobody else can do it. So devotees sometimes ask, why we can't read translations of our previous acharyas' books? Simple thing. Who can translate? Whether it is the works of the previous acharyas or works of Vyasadeva or the original statements of the Vedas, which is spoken by Krishna himself to Brahma in the beginning of the creation. All of them can be translated only by a pure devotee and nobody else. Means only a pure devotee can correctly explain. As I told you, Hari Sarvatra Giyate. Who can establish this? Only Hari is glorified, whether it is Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda, this Kanda, that Kanda, whatever. Veda means Hari is glorified. That's all, finished, over. So who can explain that? Only a pure devotee can explain that. Or the Lord himself. Nobody else can explain it. So therefore, here it is being explained by Shukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. And Shukadeva Goswami citing Garga Muni's reply to Nanda Maharaj. So Shukadeva Goswami is saying, the 11th verse, having thus been especially requested by Nanda Maharaj to do that which he had already desired to do, for what purpose Garga Muni had come to Nanda Maharaj's house on the request of Vasudeva that you please perform the name-giving ceremony for my two sons. So Garga Muni, he is a priest of the Yadu dynasty. So he came to Nanda Maharaj's house, where Krishna and Balram were hiding. And that's why Shukadeva Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj and all the assembled saintly persons, having thus been especially requested by Nanda Maharaj to do that which he already desired to do, he's come for that purpose. Same thing Nanda Maharaj is telling. What is Nanda Maharaj telling? If you think that, the previous verse, 10th verse, that you are performing this process of purification will make Kamsa suspicious, then secretly chant the Vedic hymns and perform the purifying process, second birth, here in the cowshed of my house, without the knowledge of anyone else, even my relatives, for this process of purification is essential. Here, the process of purification is actually samskara. And there are many samskaras. At least dashavida samskara, minimum. For a person conversant with Vedic culture, dashavida samskara. But there are more samskaras than 10 types of samskaras. 12, 16, even 64. So many samskaras are there. So, in the Vedic culture, just like it is described in the earlier portion, when the child, Krishna, baby Krishna, when he started crawling, there was a festival observed by Yashoda. Then when he started turning on the side, another festival is observed. That's given in the earlier chapter. Just like when the child is born, Jata Karma, then the child is put in the cradle. In Karnataka, they say Totlu Habba. Totlu means the cradle. Cradle festival. Putting the child in the cradle. And what do we do? Actually, as devotees, Nandotsav. Krishna was born middle of the night, as son of Vasudeva. But next day, Nanda Maharaj observed the birth festival. So what did Nanda Maharaj do? Put the child in the cradle. So therefore, one of the part of the festivals of Nandotsav is that deity of Krishna is put in the cradle and Jhulan Utsav. It's not a Jhulan actually. Jhulan is swing festival. This is actually the cradle festival. So in the cradle, of course they rock the cradle the way they rock the swing, same way. But it is actually a cradle festival. A small child just put in the cradle. Like that, every single small events in the life of a child is celebrated. Just like when they do the shaving of the head, Mundan ceremony, whatever. So then that is also celebrated. Aksharabhyasa, Chaula. In Hindi they say Mundan. So then when the child first is fed grains, that is also Annaprashna. Like that, so many festivals are there. Somewhere I read there are 64 samskaras one can perform. Samskara. So, samskara means, Prabhupada explains, purification. Purification. Purification of what? Purification of the consciousness. Because material existence means material contamination. And samskara is meant for purifying this material contamination from the consciousness. So, the specific samskara that Vasudeva had sent, because previous to this, Nanda Maharaj had already performed some samskaras for Krishna. So now Vasudeva had sent Garga Muni to perform the name-giving ceremony. And exactly that's what Nanda Maharaj also requested Garga Muni to do, name-giving ceremony. Of course, he said, do it secretly, otherwise Kamsa may, become suspicious that this Krishna and Balaram are actually sons of Vasudeva. And therefore, he may kill these children. So, Garga Muni performed the name-giving ceremony for Krishna and Balaram in a solitary place, in a cow shed. That was mentioned earlier. Perform the purifying process, second birth here in the cow shed of my house without knowledge of anyone else. Cow shed, who will do festival? Rich person, that too. Why will he do in the cow shed? It's not connected with cows. Why will he do in cow shed? So secretly he wants to do. That's why. So Garga Muni said, this child, now the name-giving ceremony, essence of that is giving the name. So he gave 3 names to this child, son of Rohini. 3 names. Rohini Putro, Ramayan Surudo Gunai Akyasyate Rama Iti. Because he will give all happiness to his relatives and friends by his transcendental quality. Gunaihi. Transcendental qualities. So which means that Garga Muni has actually checked the horoscope and has determined that these 2 children, Krishna and Balaram, of course, they were not known as Krishna and Balaram. They are actually the personality of Godhead, Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why, by his transcendental qualities, Supreme Personality means full of transcendental qualities. So by those qualities, he'll give all happiness to his relatives and friends. So it's called Rama. Rama literally means one who gives pleasure. Ramayan, one who gives pleasure. So Rama. In Sanskrit, every word has got a very specific meaning. And of course, names have got meanings. Unlike today, sometimes they keep names which have no meaning. Tillu, Chillu, Pillu. I mean, I am not telling concocted names. Huh? These are all names of the mess boys who used to be there in the hostel I was staying when studying in engineering college. 3 names I'm actually mentioning. 3 boys, mess boys who would clean the table. Tillu, Chillu, Pillu. Of course, they had other names, but we used to call them by those names. Like my grandfather's name was Narayana, wonderful name, but everybody used to call him Nani, Nani. Kelidira, ido? Nani inta? Common alva? I don't know whether it's common. Howda? Huh? Nani. They killed the whole spirit of that name. Ajamila, somehow he chanted Narayana, calling his son. He didn't call him some short name. He called his son by the name Narayana. He was saved. So after reading that Ajamila pastime, I was telling my mother, why you people call him Nani, Nani, Nani? He was, wonderful name the parents have given, Narayana. And you're spoiling that. So my point is, in Sanskrit, every word has got a meaning. And in particular, names have certainly got very significant meaning. So Rama means one who gives all pleasure by his transcendental qualities. And then one more name, because he will manifest extraordinary bodily strength. When he grows up, he's a small child now, but when he grows up, he'll extraordinarily manifest extraordinary strength. Baladhikyat balam viduhu, because he'll manifest extraordinary strength, he is known as Bala. So that's how Bala and Rama combined, two short names combined to form another beautiful name, Balarama. See how nice Sanskrit language is. Balarama. One more name, because he was given the name Bala, Baladeva, because he's Deva, he is the supreme personality of Godhead. So therefore, Baladeva. Another name, Balabhadra, because he brings in all auspiciousness. Therefore, Balabhadra. See, Balabhadra, Baladeva, Balarama. So, Bala is the basic name because he will manifest extraordinary bodily strength. And a third name also, because he will unite two families, the family of Vasudeva and the family of Nanda Maharaj. He'll be known as Sankarshana. The literal name, the literal meaning of Sankarshana is uniting two families. Sankarshana. Sankarshana. Uniting two families. So which are the two families? Vasudeva's family and Nanda Maharaj's family. Now how they are being united by Balaram, that is explained by Prabhupada in the purport. That there was this king of the Yadu dynasty, Shurasena. He had two wives. One was a Kshatriya lady and the other one was a Vaishya lady. So through his Kshatriya wife, Shurasena had a son by name Vasudeva. And through his Vaishya wife, he had a son by name Nanda. Later on, Vasudeva married a Kshatriya princess, Devotee. Of course, he married 16 princesses. But because he married a Kshatriya princesses, so he became known as a Kshatriya family. And Nanda Maharaj married a Vaishya girl, Yashoda. So Nanda Maharaj's family became known as Vaishya family. But Balaram is uniting the Kshatriya family of Vasudeva and Devaki with the Vaishya family of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. How? Because he was transferred from Devaki's womb to Rohini's womb. Now, Rohini is actually the queen of Vasudeva. So, Balaram actually still is the belonging to Kshatriya family. So, how is it said he is uniting the Kshatriya and Vaishya families, two families? Because Rohini was hiding in Nanda Maharaj's house, had been kept there by Vasudeva because of Kamsa's atrocities. So she was more or less identified as another wife of Nanda Maharaj. Who? Rohini. And Balaram, Vasudeva had instructed Nanda Maharaj. He doesn't know. He knows his mother is Rohini. But after his birth, he doesn't know that I am his father. Vasudeva told Nanda, he doesn't know I'm his father. He'll consider you as his father. So you should play the role of his being his father. Raise him very carefully. So Nanda Maharaj agreed. So common people, outside people, they did not know Nanda Maharaj is not the father of Balaram. So, therefore, being known as the son of Nanda Maharaj, Balaram is known as belonging to Vaishya family. Vaishya father, so Vaishya family. But the secret being revealed by Garga Muni, because he has made the horoscope or he studied the horoscope, whatever it is. So he has figured out that Balaram is actually Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's come on a mission. So all these are Leelas. First entering the womb of Devaki, then being transferred to the womb of Rohini. Rohini is hidden to protect her against the atrocities of Kamsa. All this is, it's all mysterious details. That Garga Muni knows everything. Therefore, he is explaining another name for Rama and Bala is Sankarshana, third name, because he unites the two families. Nanda Maharaj's family and Vasudeva's family. So therefore, he'll be known as Sankarshana. This is the explanation given by Srila Prabhupada. I'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.